What's up, guys? It's Marvin. For those of you that don't know me, which is probably most of you, I'm a freelance videographer here in Southern California, in the Irvine, Costa Mesa area. I primarily shoot a lot of like sports content and like athletic training and stuff like that. But today's video is going to be why I chose to be self-employed and why you should too. So we're just going to dive straight into it. First point is going to be no income cap. So it's pretty straightforward. You know, when you have a full-time job here in the U.S., full-time W-2 job, you're either paid hourly, salary, or contract, depending on what payment structure the employer set. And it's pretty much set. Like you can get raises depending on how much the results you can get to the employer or to the company. But and that all depends on their timeline and what they say. Like obviously you can bring in. You can go into a meeting and say like, oh, you can demand a raise, but if you're not backing up with good results and like you're showing them that you're a really good employee for them, then they're probably not going to give you a raise, and then your income is pretty much going to be set wherever they set you. So, when you're self-employed, like you get paid based on the value you bring to the marketplace, to whatever marketplace you're providing to. So, the more value you bring, the more value you give, the more money you get back in return. So value. Remember that. Second point I made is time flexibility. So this is kind of iffy and it kind of depends on what business you have. This is really big if you have an online business, then this is like crucial. You get like so much time flexibility. It all depends on how you set up your business and stuff like that. Like if you're an online coach, you can kind of set up the times of where you have your client calls or whatever you do, like program work. And stuff like that, client check-ins, and that's just online coaching. There's so much more types of businesses like what I do, like freelance. That all depends on like what the event, like what time it starts and stuff like that. What's going on, what time I schedule with the client, and it's pretty flexible. It's not a consistent thing, which I like. I kind of like variety throughout my week and throughout my days, and so I kind of thrive on that. For a lot of people, they don't like that, and that's why a lot of people they choose to be employed instead of self-employed because they like having structure towards them and whatnot, which I can see why they like that. But I want to make more money, and if you're gonna make more money, being self-employed is the way to go. Third point that I made is there's more tax deduction options. So if you're a W-2 employee, like there's not much like tax deductions you could probably make. Like the more money you make, like let's say, like if you're gonna pay more taxes if you're making $150,000 than $75,000 here in the U.S., especially if you're in a liberal state. Like if you're like I'm in California, like it's a pretty significant jump in taxes, and you make more, that jump, which sucks, but it is what it is. Just the politics. That's why I'm moving to Arizona next year because lower state tax. I wish there wasn't no state tax. But going back to the main point, more tax deduction options for self-employment. There's so many ways to like lower your tax bill, whether it be through tax write-offs for the equipment you use, your home office, the stuff you buy, all the gear that I use for my videography business and whatnot. Meetings. I'm not a tax expert, but there's so much more tax deductions when you're self-employed. And it all depends on how you file, what your business is classified as. So like mine's taxed as an LLC, and so I have a lot of options doing that. It's an LLC, sole proprietor. I need to switch it to an S corp. An S corp is much better in terms of a lower tax rate. It's a little bit complicated. Like I would definitely do your own research, watch a lot of YouTube. There's a lot of YouTube videos explaining this, and then talk to tax pros. They can kind of tell you like what's the real spill about that. But look into that. If you're looking to self-employment, look into the tax deductions for sure. Fourth point, it's pretty obvious. There's no boss. Like you're your own boss. Somebody's not telling you what the fuck to do. They're not over your head watching you, micromanage you. Like I've had plenty of jobs when I was younger, when I was in college and whatnot, just trying to figure life out. And I've had so many managers that just micromanage you, and that shit is so annoying. Like I can't stand when people do that shit. Like every little thing, like oh, put that there, do this, do that. Instead of it's like I know this, but like stop, get the fuck out of my shoulder. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory when you're self-employed. You're your own boss, and so but with that there comes a lot of, like you have to be on your A game. Like at all times, because if you're not on your A game, then you're gonna mess up. You're gonna forget stuff. You know what I mean? So there's pros and cons to this. I'll probably make a video. I'll probably make a video in the future why you shouldn't be why you shouldn't be self-employed or an entrepreneur. But that's not this video right now. This is, you know, why you should be. But yeah, no boss, so that's a major plus, to be honest. The last point is personal fulfillment. So when you're working a job, more than likely working a full-time job, most people that work full-time jobs, they do not like or love their job at all. Like none whatsoever. But if you're self-employed, you know, properly, if you're properly self-employed, you're gonna love what the fuck you're doing. Like I love what I do because I love like sports. I grew up playing sports, so being able to film and capture athletes like moments in games and stuff like that, especially football, because that's what I love. That's the sport that I love and I played the most growing up. You know, it's a blessing. Like it brings me joy inside, and I feel fulfilled when I'm doing it because it feels like it's my purpose. That's the big. Honestly, that's probably the biggest thing. It's the biggest because besides monetarily, like, you know, being self-employed, like you're gonna make more money and all that. Like this is personal fulfillment is huge because it just makes you feel good inside. Like when you're done, you know, when the day is done, you're like, damn, like I really did that. Like I really do this for a living. You know, God really blessed me with this talent that I didn't know I had, that I didn't realize that I had, that I can, you know, make money of and take advantage to better my life. So yeah, personal fulfillment is huge. So that's pretty much it for the video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I should add, or let me know if I missed anything important or crucial. Let me know what's your counter. If you disagree with me, if you think being employed is better, let me know in the comments. Like, I'm open to feedback. You know, I'm not a little bitch. Like I'm not gonna complain about constructive criticism. So go in the comments, go fight a little bit. You know, cause some, let you know, get some engagement going and whatnot. Get some banter going. And yeah. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.